What do you think love is?
About loving people.
Loving people?
Defining it without using the word love in the definition. I think love is
It's a mix of emotions. It could be happy, it could be sad, but you know, overall, like in the end, you know, you have something that's just a mix of wonderful.
It can be a lot of things. I think love can be honest and genuine. So love is definitely genuine.
Love is sweetness.
I guess for me, love is a great feeling. It makes me happy. It makes me feel wanted, and at the same time, it makes me capable of showing other people that they're wanted as well.
Love is having someone there to care for you and comfort you and be there for you for like everything.
Someone else's happiness makes you happy, and you put their happiness before yours.
like a deep desire that someone else be happy, that you want their well-being more than yours.
Love was a color, what would it be?
Red. Red.
I'm gonna say red.
I think it'd be green.
It would be either yellow or the color of fireworks or just something clear.
Does rainbow count as a color? Counts, right?
A variety of colors because like all like the different emotions that it brings.
Orange, because it's sunny and bright and makes you feel good.
Because that's the color of hearts. Because red is a favorite color for this heart.
Because green to me is like spring, like new growth, new leaves, and because love, it has to be alive, like growing.
What would the world be like without love? Oh gosh.
I don't know, look at the news nowadays. That's pretty much what's happening nowadays, isn't it?
Dead. Because no one would be in love, and there'd be no babies being made.
There would be no mommies.
I don't know. I can't really come up with anything just because it's making me sad thinking about it.
Very selfish and just prideful, boastful.
Worse than it is right now.
Bored, sad, useless.
No, I couldn't see a world without love.
When you think of love, who is the first person you think of?
Caitlin Grace Kendall.
Awesome.
Jesus Christ is like the perfect example of showing how to love people that we might not even like, that we don't agree with maybe what they do or what they believe, but that we can still show them kindness, and so I guess after that would be my husband. I would think of him.
I think about my husband, my kids.
Mommy.
I probably have to think of my sister because she's always looking out for me.
I think of my boyfriend Daniel.
My wife and kids. And my wife first, and my kids second.
Who are people that you love?
You, Mommy, Lena, Pearl. I really say you.
Yeah, my family for sure. Like all my family.
Caitlin Kinzel, my mommy, my dad, my two brothers, my sister, basically anyone I consider family.
My husband, my 3 daughters, Katie, Maddie, and Bailey. I love my students.
Mommy.
Who else?
Daddy, Sissy, and Gracie, and Madison, and Papa, and Mama.
Amy for sure.
Mom, my dad, my boyfriend, my sister, my brothers, my grandparents, my cousins, my friends, my aunts and uncles, everyone. I love the world. I love Miss Clark.
I think you need to just be kind and love anyone and just try to not have any bad judgments on anyone because everyone deserves to be loved. So.
What is the best thing about love?
For me, it's a feeling of safety. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
You don't feel alone, I guess, in a way. Like, loneliness is something that, like, really curses a lot of people.
Is being able to just give it freely to other people, and receiving it in return.
The best thing about love is mommy.
What are the hardest things about love?
Arguments, distance.
The unconditionality of love is sometimes very difficult because, I mean, we all think differently. My wife and I are polar opposites when it comes to ideas about everything from worldly events to personal things and stuff. And to make that mesh.
Self is sacrifice, because I think if you love someone, you sacrifice for them because you want what's best for them.
You put them in front of you, so sometimes you forget about yourself.
Shoot, many things. But I think the number one biggest thing is probably heartbreak. I know that a lot of people fall in love very fast.
I try not to make love hard. It's a simple thing.
Do you have a unique or impactful story? I think our story is pretty unique. We started dating really young at 13, and like, that's crazy, and we are still together.
So I live in Japan, but I used to live in Virginia Beach, and I left Amy here. I left her here because I had to move with my mom, and if I had any other choice, I'd stay here with her, but it's just what fate decided for me.
I think I've told you guys before in class and stuff that I'm a recovering addict, and one of the few times there was one time when my parents came to a therapy session when I was in rehab, and it was myself and my mother and father and I don't think Megan's ever heard the story, and the therapist, and it was kind of an awkward moment because and I was 27 years old, and my therapist asked my mother, Mrs. Van Oekel, do you have anything to say to Rudy, which is me? And so, my mom was emotional and she cried and, where did we go wrong and blah, 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 because of all these things that happened and stuff and things, because of my addiction and all these things. And
we were long distance the majority of the time. And when I came back from serving my mission for my church, Daniel moved over here to Florida to be closer to me and to kind of end that long distance relationship, which I really appreciate, and it just showed a lot of sacrifice.
Well, I'll talk about the first time that I met my husband. We were taking the SATs in high school, and I had a boyfriend, he had a girlfriend, but he sat two seats behind me in the classroom that we were assigned to. It wasn't even our school. And he came up to me and he asked me for a pencil, and he's like, who is this idiot who comes to the SATs without a pencil?
You have a baby and you love that baby so much. And then so I got pregnant a second time, and I just remember thinking, how in the world am I gonna love this second child the way, do I have any love left over? My love for my first child is so all-encompassing. How can I possibly, but somehow, in some unique, crazy way, that second child and then the third child is born, and the love just expands to include the second and the third child. It's the craziest thing. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it works.
My father, she asked Mr. Van Oekel, do you have anything to say to your son? And he said, hurricane. And it just kind of got quiet for a few seconds, and he said, hurricane. And the therapist goes, what do you mean by hurricane? He says, well, Rudy comes into people's lives and destroys everything that's there, and just like a hurricane, and then without thought moves on to the next area and does that and moves on. And it was that thought of a lack of love. Yes, it was at that moment right there that I decided I can't do this no more. I've got to make some changes. And I've spent now almost 31 years trying to make those changes.
Little did I know that he would become my husband later on. We reconnected a few years later when we were in college, and neither of us were dating anyone, and started hanging out, and now here we are 19 years later, and we have a beautiful life, and I'm so thankful for that.
For me and Jamie, in the beginning of our relationship, we hit it off, but there was a part of that where things wasn't going well, and it's because of me. I got out of a long relationship, and so I was making a lot of bad decisions and stuff like that. But when I met Jamie, she was just such a unique human being, I would say, and she was just so perfect.
My girlfriend, as of now, did not, I guess, like me in 8th grade, and now we've been dating for over a year, so it's funny how love works out.
Pretty much. When Lawson and I first started talking and stuff, we sat there, and we actually didn't start dating until 4 months into our relationship, because we decided we wanted to get to know each other first, because we both were out of not so good relationships, so we just sat there. I remember we sat at a park for 2 hours and just asked each other questions.
Long story short, we were gonna break up, and then we didn't. We took the chance, leap of faith, and of course it ended well. So no, that was probably our biggest, well, we've had plenty of big fights, but that was the first major, cause if it wasn't for that, and if I haven't said I love you, then we probably wouldn't be together right now.
Think of the person you love the most. Is there anything you'd like to say to them? And then this one I would like for you to say to the camera.
Alright. So, do I have to address it to them?
Who do you love the most?
Mommy.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Mommy?
Yes.
What?
I love you.
One thing I'd like to say is that I'm very grateful for everything that you do for me, and I'm grateful for your companionship and your friendship, and for just being honest and humble and just being my best friend. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say my daughters. I don't know, I love you guys so much, and I hope they make good choices, and that no matter what choice you make, that your mommy loves you. And I'll always be here to support you and love you. That's it.
Okay.
Alright, so Lawson, thank you for being there for me through everything, and through all the hard times, because I've dealt with a couple deaths in my family since we started dating. And oh gosh. And thank you for showing me that I'm loved and that I'm worth something. And yeah, I can keep going, but I'm almost crying now. But keep going.
I love you.
No, come on.
Just motivating me to be the best person I can be. Okay.
Alright, that's enough. You can stop.
I love you more than I love life itself.
Jamie, I know that I make a lot of mistakes. I know I continue to make mistakes, but I'm learning. I'm still learning, and you support me with everything I do. Of course, with the internship in school, I would have never been so successful now without you and your support. So, I love you very much.
I'm tired. I want to sleep, and I'm hungry. Can we go to Chick-fil-A already? Even though it's Sunday, I'm hungry. Please.
I'd like to say thank you for all these wonderful years together. You have just been a blessing to our lives. I'm so glad that you are my husband, and that you have been such a wonderful father to our 2 beautiful kids.
Just another 29 years will be cool, or 39, or 49, or 59, or whatever, but we're getting old. That's it.
I missed you a lot.
Very good. Anything else about love?
Not yet.